again, La Joya, well, they're dressed up kind of like Notre Dame, and looks like the Badgers will be kicking the ball away. And doing the kicking, looks like it'll be Johan Gunderman. Again, folks, a lot of new faces on this Badger team. And it might take me a game or two to figure out who's who out here. I will do my best instead of just calling everyone Joey Bag of Donuts 1, Joey Bag of Donuts 2, and Joey Bag of Donuts 3.
There's got to be a Fred in there somewhere.
Fred Bag of Donuts.
There you go. All right, folks. Another season of Badger football at last.
And here we go. It is kickoff. And the 2023 season has officially begun. And that ball will land in the end zone. And it is caught by number 1 for La Joya. And that is Jaime Ozuna. Touchback. So the Fighting Lobos will start from the 20-yard line. Not just the Lobos, but the Fighting Lobos.
All right. And, folks, I'm going to tell you, this is a marked difference from the last football game up in Snowflake. A little warmer here.
More like a lot warmer, I would say.
I'm trying to be nice here.
So we will see this La Joya offense and what they're made of, led by their quarterback, Aaron Winfield. 2 receivers out to the left side for the Lobos. And what do you know? Referees didn't wait long to throw out that first flag. It looks like it's going to be a false start against La Joya.
And they're going to go back 5 yards, 1st and 15 from their own 15. 11:59 remaining in the first quarter, and already we've got minus yardage.
Oh, man. Well, folks, I would say now is the time for the song dedication for tonight's game, and the one I'm going with is The Howling by the Dutch symphonic metal band Within Temptation. The Fighting Lobos are sure to do some howling in their season opener, while Prescott hopes to put a muzzle on it.
Very clever.
Thank you, thank you.
Okay, here we go.
And it looks like quarterback Winfield going to be operating from under center. And it looks like he keeps the ball himself. He runs up to the right side. Not a lot of room there. And actually it looks like he does punch through. The Badgers able to swarm over him, and maybe Winfield got a couple yards out of that one.
A host of Badgers on that play finally brought him down near the original line of scrimmage, maybe about 6 yards there on that one. So here we go, 11:35. The clock ticking, finally an offensive play in the game, and we are finally underway.
Looks like it'll be 2nd and 9 now for the Lobos, as they have the ball at about the 21-yard line. Winfield, he hands off the ball, and running back breaks one tackle, doesn't break another one, and looks like that might have been Alvarado who was carrying the ball for La Joya, and he got about 5 or 6 yards off of that run.
So 3rd and 5 at the 25 so far for the Lobos as they're grinding along against the Badgers.
La Joya back up to the line of scrimmage. Receiver out to the far side. And again, Winfield operating under center. Man in motion. And run going to the near side, but the Badgers able to cut it off quickly, and it looks like it's going to be 3 and out for the Lobos.
Loss of 2 on that one as he tried to make it around the end, and Badgers were ready for that one. So number 1 for the Badgers, deep to receive.
And that is, of course, Uriah Tenette, one of the few familiar faces on this Prescott team. An all-region first-team selection for the Badgers in football and also in basketball last season. And here comes the punt by La Joya. Tenette. Oh, has it bounced past him at the 40-yard line. And that will be picked up by number 2 for La Joya. That is Jacob Gerardo.
It looked almost like it bounced off Tenette's foot, and they acted like it. But the officials are saying it was down at the 29-yard line. Even the coaches are saying this is a touchdown.
Yeah, it looked like we saw Coach Adam Bean of La Joya put both arms up in the air, but it looks like he is not going to, the referees are not going to overrule that call. It looks like the Badger offense heading out onto the field, led by another one of the few familiar faces on Prescott, and that is Jackson Rice at quarterback.
Okay.
Rice, an all Grand Canyon region second team selection last year. The ball is given to, looks like, Tenette. And he runs it up to about the 30-yard line.
High snap on that one. Very nearly lost it, but Tenette took it, and away he went, and about a yard, so a good recovery there. Hey, tonight's game, by the way, is brought to you by one of our newest sponsors, Silver Hammer, Northern Arizona's premier home and commercial building inspection company, Badger-owned and operated. Let Silver Hammer Inspections take care of all your inspection needs. Go Badgers!
So it'll be 2nd and 9 now for Prescott. They have the ball at the 29-yard line. Josiah Peoples in for Prescott. They got trips out to the near side. And, well, whistle on the player. Yeah, we have a timeout for Prescott. So 9 minutes left to go here in the first quarter. And already the Badgers with a timeout. Again, Jason, a lot of new guys on this team, so probably a lot of guys trying to still familiarize themselves with all the plays.
Well, it's game one. There's a lot of rust to shake off from that last game, and a lot of snow to shake off from that game in Snowflake, which was quite possibly the coldest game on record. Well, okay, as far as I'm concerned. But the thing is also, I mean, you got to shake off the rust. You got to remember what you learned in summer. And remember, we've got a lot of kids here who were playing JV freshman ball last year. It's a whole new set. Yeah, the plays kind of descend through the Badger ranks, of course, but you got to be prepared for this game. And let's face it, it's a hot one today. You might be just a little distracted, but here we are, 2nd and 9 for the Badgers with 9 minutes to go in the first quarter.
Gunderman and Isaac Muffley out to the near side for Prescott along with Josiah Peoples. And we are ready for action again. Rice throws it to Gunderman. Gunderman takes off, and he gets to the 40-yard line, and he's brought down near the 44-yard line. Nice catch and nice run there by number 2 for Prescott, Johan Gunderman.
Good play there, good screen pass, and managed to get past a few Lobos. And a good start for the Badgers.
So 1st and 10 now for Prescott from the 44-yard line. This time Uriah Tenette takes the ball from the Wildcat. He bursts through the middle. He gets up to midfield and pushes through a couple of Lobos and gets into Lobo territory. Nice speedy run. Nice speedy and strong run there by Uriah Tenette.
If he does this through the whole season, I think we're looking at all season honors again, for Uriah. He hasn't lost a step so far.
About a 7-yard pickup there by Tenette. 2nd and 3 now for the Badgers. Rice with the throw. There's the catch by Muffley. Muffley past the 40-yard line, and Muffley gets taken down by number 3 for La Joya. That is Jacob Rivera.
10-yard gain. The sticks move once again, and the Badgers moving impressively so far here against La Joya.
Well, it looks like that early timeout that Coach Cody Collette called has certainly helped Prescott. 1st and 10 from the 38-yard line as they push deeper into Lobo territory. There is the give to number 17 for Prescott. That is Trace Overton. And Overton gets halted on that run after gain of a few. And it looks like Overton only picks up a yard off of that one, so it's 2nd and 9 now in favor of Prescott. And Rice with the throw, and there's the catch. Oh, pops up in the air, and it is brought down by number 45 for Prescott, Court Lewis. Nice catch. So Court Lewis, about a 3-yard pickup there on the throw by Jackson Rice. 3rd and 7 now for Prescott. Tenette has it. Tenette makes the cut. Gets through a couple of tackles. Gets close to the first down, but it looks like the Lobos able to stop him.
Okay, so now here's an interesting early season decision where they're on the 31-yard line with a 4th and about 3 yards, a long 3. I'd say go for it at this point.
And it does look like Coach Collette is going to go for it here. Jackson Rice still out there. Rice going to operate from the... Actually, he is going to... Well, I thought he was going to operate under center. Now he's going back to the gun. And Rice going to keep the ball himself. He goes up the middle, and it looks like La Joya able to stop Jackson Rice. He comes up short on 4th down, and the Fighting Lobos will take over on offense.
Well, he got some good speed there. He got met right at the 30-yard line and popped right there, stood up, and that was the end of that. But it was a good effort by the Badgers. I mean, you march that far down, you're just far enough away that a field goal looks a little out of reach. So good effort for the Badgers. Good start.
Nothing here with 6:08 left to go in the first quarter. By the way, folks, Olson's for healthy animals, where good enough just isn't. Olson's another fine Badger sponsor. And it looks like we have a timeout here as well, the training staff for both sides coming out and hydrating the players on the field. I think this might have been an official timeout.
The officials were discussing at the beginning, just before the game, I heard them talking to some of the security. They wanted to make absolutely sure both sides had plenty of water, along with the officials, the security guards. Everybody involved had plenty of water tonight. I can understand that 105 degrees, it's not going to cool off very quickly tonight.
I mean, even by the time we get up to the end of the game between 9-10, it's still going to be 100 degrees out.
And hot down on the AstroTurf. I can call it AstroTurf.
1st and 10 for La Joya as they have the ball at their own 29-yard line.
Both teams seem to be just a little rusty tonight. You know, they're getting placed. The officials are taking a look at things here and kind of replacing the players. I think that was an equipment delay here.
Jeremiah Gutierrez now in for La Joya. There goes the run by the Lobos, and looks like the Badgers throw the running back.
Made it to the line of scrimmage. That was about it. Oh, maybe lean forward for a yard and a half. So 2nd and 8 here for the Lobos.
Clock winding down, 5:43 left to go in quarter number 1.
Don't forget tonight's game sponsored in part by Badgers alumni Steve Blair, owner of Blind Brothers Arizona, offering premier window treatments in northern Arizona since 1979.
Aaron Winfield, again under center. 2 backs behind him. And give is to, looks like it's number 25 for the Fighting Lobos, and that is Devon Robinson, but Robinson thrown back for a loss of about 2 or 3.
Good effort for the Badgers there. They got right on top of him, and now it's 3rd and long deep in their own territory, about the 28-yard line. So 5 minutes to go, and so far the Badgers seem to be moving the ball a little more effectively than the Lobos, but both teams moving a little bit slow coming out of the gate.
2 receivers out to the far side for La Joya. Again, Winfield under center. And we get a penalty flag. And false start, second false start of the game called against La Joya. By the way, folks, these aren't the only Lobos taking on one of our local football teams, Bradshaw Mountain. They open the season tonight. They are at home, and in fact, they are taking on the team that Jason was talking about earlier, Snowflake.
That's going to be an interesting ball game for both teams.
3rd and 15 now for La Joya. They have the ball at their own 22-yard line. Badgers looking for another 3 and out here against the Lobos. Winfield dropping back, being pursued, and Winfield absolutely hammered by number 21, Adam Lloyd. Adam Lloyd with the sack, and he just had a beeline right there on Winfield.
Beautiful play, a loss, a tremendous loss there, and we are talking, well, definitely punting, but 4th down and 25 to go.
I'll tell you what, there was absolutely no one between Lloyd and the quarterback Winfield. He just had an absolute clear shot at Lloyd, probably one of the easiest sacks you could ask for. Punt coming up for La Joya. Uriah Tenette. He's just going to let that bounce by him past the 40-yard line. He's going to roll up to about the 35-yard line before it is finally picked up by number 6 for the Lobos, Edward Garcia.
Tonight's game sponsored in part by the Badgers' biggest fans, the Prescott Unified School District. Every child, every day. Support your Badgers with your Arizona tax credit. Go to PrescottSchools.com. And tonight's Badger game sponsored in part by Prescott True Value, locally owned and operated since 1982. So much more than just a hardware store. That's Prescott True Value.
So the Prescott offense heading back out on the field with 3:27 left to go in the first quarter. John Rust, Jason Zinzaletta with you. CJ Siegfried operating our camera here on the live stream. You can get that on Facebook tonight, or you can also pick it up on our KYCA Vimeo channel as well. Now here comes Rice carrying the ball himself. Gets to about the 39-yard line before he's finally taken down. Pickup of about 2 or 3 yards there by Rice.
We'll see if they can grind it out about as good as they did in the first series. So far, so good.
Actually, it's going to be about 2nd and 7 now as Rice uncorks that one to Gunderman. Gunderman with the catch, and Gunderman going to sail into the end zone for the touchdown. Oh, man, Gunderman all by himself and had a great catch there for, let's see. I got to do math here. About a 62-yard touchdown reception.
Fantastic play, and he broke away from his from the cover man just as he was about to catch the ball. I think the cover man thought it was going to go over his head, and the next thing you know, there it was, and he was already 5 yards ahead of him and on his way to the end zone. Beautiful play for the Badgers.
And now looks like Prescott going to go for 2 here. Jackson Rice under center. And he is going to give the ball to Gunderman, and Gunderman shrugs off a couple of tackles and skates into the end zone for the touchdown. 2:59 remaining here in the first quarter, and the Badgers are on the board thanks to a 62-yard touchdown hookup. Jackson Rice to Johan Gunderman. 8-0 Badgers. We will take a 30-second break, and we will be back with more from La Joya High School in Avondale right after this. And we are back here at La Joya High School. John Rust with you, along with Jason Zinzaletta, CJ Siegfried. 8-0 in favor of Prescott as they strike first in this game. Jackson Rice connecting with Johan Gunderman for a 62-yard touchdown reception.
There we go. Beautiful play for the Badgers. A great way to kick off, and here's the kickoff.
And who's it by? It's by Gunderman, and again, going to be a touchback there as La Joya will have to start from their own 20-yard line. Well, Johan Gunderman, one of the new guys for Prescott here on varsity, and I'll tell you what, a pretty good varsity debut here for Mr. Gunderman.
So far, so good, and looking like he's directing those Badgers pretty well so far here in the first quarter. Still 3 minutes to go. Well, 2:59 remaining. And the Lobos are going to be on their own 20. So far, a beautiful night for the Badgers, even if it is about 300 degrees outside. Did I say? No, 105.
Yeah, but we can't feel it here in this nice air-conditioned booth.
Don't jinx it.
Well, I guess if the air conditioning suddenly goes out, I'll be looking for a new job then.
And now the officials are marking off 10 yards.
I did not see what the penalty was against La Joya. Now, actually, I did notice that Gunderman was pointing before he went to the sideline, so I'm wondering if maybe someone from La Joya hit him, and I just didn't catch that.
That's possible, but anyway, 1st and 10 from the 10-yard line for La Joya.
So Winfield and his bunch having to start deep in their own territory. And the running back goes up the middle and just runs into a horde of white jerseys. And it looks like number 20 for Prescott, Luke Mason, one of the guys in on the hit there. But looks like Rivera picking up about 5 or 6 yards. That is Jacob Rivera.
So 2nd and 4 now for La Joya at the 16-yard line. 2:28 remaining here in the first quarter.
Winfield again under center. Receivers to either side for the Fighting Lobos. And there is the give to the running back, and he gets held up and then dropped to the ground by the Badgers. Oh, we got a flag on the play. Just as a couple Badger tacklers getting up. Looks like, again, Luke Mason was one of the guys in on that hit, along with Adam Lloyd.
Could have been a late hit, and I think it's going against Prescott. They're already starting to back up. First penalty for the Badgers tonight. 3 penalties for 20 yards against the Lobos, but this one is going to be costly, and that's going to give them the first down.
First down and then some, as the referee going to walk it. Let's see.
15 yards. That's a personal foul.
So now it looks like the Lobos is going to be at the 32-yard line. 2:10 remaining in the first quarter. Badgers up 8-0. Run goes to the far side. Badgers swarm to the running back, and they take him down.
No gain on that one. Folks, we want to remind you that tonight's game brought to you in part on KYCA by Arizona Seamless Gutters. Quality people, products, and service you can trust. Arizona Seamless Gutters, another fine Badger sponsor.
So it'll be 2nd and 10 now for the Fighting Lobos. And just under 90 seconds remaining here in the first stanza. Garcia, the man in motion. And run again going up the middle for La Joya. And again, the Badgers cut it off. Some good stops here by Prescott as La Joya trying to go up the middle, but the Badgers having nothing to do with that. Number 45, Court Lewis, in on the tackle.
And every handoff from the Lobos in their backfield seems to be a confused mess to some extent. I can't explain it, but there it is. It's just been an interesting thing. It looks like a muddle back there, but somehow they get the ball into somebody's hands.
Again, Winfield under center, 3rd and 8 now for La Joya. And here comes the run going to the far side. Running back slips by a couple of Badger tackles, and it looks like he does have the first down. And I want to say that was Devon Robinson.
About an 8 to 9 yard gain right there.
Actually, it looks like the running back was Jacob Rivera. So he picks up a first down for the Fighting Lobos as we come down to the final 25 seconds of the first quarter. Prescott up 8-0, but La Joya looks like they're starting to get their game together. Receivers to either side for the Lobos. Winfield again under center. And there's the give, and the running back held up by a couple of Badgers, and a few more come in and finish the job. And Wasn't sure who was carrying that ball. It might have been Rivera, but the Badgers doing a good job of holding him up. Number 49, Cooper Kassoon, one of the guys in on that stop.
And that's the end of the first quarter.
So that will do it. End of one, and it's Prescott 8 and La Joya nothing. So we will take a 60-second break here, and we'll be back with quarter number 2 between Prescott and La Joya right after this. We are back for the second quarter of our season opener tonight. Badgers taking on the Fighting Lobos. John Rust, Jason Zinzaletta, CJ Siegfried with you here. 8-0 is the score. Prescott on top. Jackson Rice with a 62-yard touchdown pass to Johan Gunderman, and so far that has been the difference in this game. As now La Joya moving left to right across your screen or radio dial. Winfield looking, throwing, and Winfield had to get rid of that ball in a hurry as he had Adam Lloyd bearing down on him.
Really not much of a chance, and just kind of threw it in the middle of 2 or 3 Badgers there. So pretty good. Third down and about 12 yards to go, and now let's see if the Badgers defense can step up. I'll tell you, John, it is, for those of you who like interminable heat, this is a beautiful night for football, but otherwise it's a little warm out there. Let's see if the Badgers can heat it up out there on the line.
Winfield calling out the signals. He's got 2 receivers to the near side. Oh, and it looks like the Badgers jumped offside.
Well, I see a Lobo moved. I'm thinking that it's a false start. Over on this side, it looks like, yep, there it is.
Okay, correction on that. It's actually going to be a false start against the Lobos. Again, this is what, the 3rd or 4th false start that they've been called for.
Well, game 1, and I'm sure that they're running into a whole bunch of new players as well this year. So it's just warming up basically for the season. So 3rd and 17 now for the Lobos. We're just underway in quarter number 2.
2 receivers out to the near side, 1 over to the far side. Winfield continues to operate under center. And we get another flag as Winfield takes the snap. And we'll see what that is.
No gain for the Lobos, maybe even a loss of 1, but the flag on the play. Let's see, John. And the Lobos are already backing up on that one too.
Take a guess what the call is.
False start. That has to be the 5th one. So 25 yards worth of penalties already against the Lobos, and really at the most inopportune times here at this point.
And you can darn well bet that Coach Bean is going to talk to his guys in the locker room about that.
Gentlemen, the concept is don't move.
Actually, the Badgers are declining the penalty, so this is going to bring up 4th down.
Probably a smart move there. You never know on third and long when they could pop one for a long distance. So, good move for the Badgers.
Uriah Tenette back to receive the punt from La Joya. And this time Tenette makes the catch around the 30-yard line, splits a couple of tacklers, and Tenette gets tripped up right around the 37-yard line. And it Actually, one of the Lobos picked up the ball, but it looks like the officials say that Tenette was down by contact, so it will remain Prescott possession as they take over on downs.
Tonight's game brought to you in part by one of the Badgers' biggest fans. That's House Chilson and Associates Insurance. They're your local independent agent since 1973. That's House Chilson and Associates, another fine Badger sponsor.
So Jackson Rice back out at quarterback for Prescott. Standing next to him, Ethan Groh. And he gives the ball to Groh. Actually, no, Rice keeps it himself. Actually, that's Tenette, excuse me, as he gets up to about the 45-yard line before he's knocked down.
And we see a flag about 2 yards behind Tenette in Badger territory.
Probably going to be a hold.
And there it is, the hold against Prescott.
So that erases a pretty good run there by Tenacious T, Uriah Tenette. And now the Badgers will back up. Maybe not too much of a surprise we're seeing this many penalties here in the first half, Jason. Like we've both said before, a lot of new guys on the Badgers and certainly a lot of new guys on La Joya.
I mean, you've got a bunch of kids who have played at least one level of football before this, but varsity is different. There's a lot more pressure and everything, and the kids have to get warmed up, you know. But so far, so good for the Badgers. It seems like in general they're keeping things together and moving down the field. Just this one happened to be backwards, unfortunately.
And there's only so much you can do to prepare for a game by doing 7-on-7s or just a scrimmage when you're substituting so many people in and out. You got to get into that first game where things really, really matter before you, like you said, start to shake off the rust, no pun intended, and really start to get your feet under you.
Honestly, after all these years, I didn't think of that pun.
Rice. Dropping back, now going to air it out to Uriah Tenette, and Tenette almost catches that one. He had some good coverage on him by, it looks like, number 3, Jacob Rivera. Tenette got his fingertips on it, but just couldn't haul it in.
I'm wondering if Rivera got a little bit of that ball right at the end. A good defensive cover there, but Uriah just very nearly had that one anyway, even with the good coverage.
Second down and 17 now for Prescott. They have the ball at their own 30-yard line here in the second quarter. 8-zip Badgers on top of La Joya. Rice with the throw, and there's the catch. Looks like that's Muffley. Muffley breaks off one tackle, pushes through another tackle, brings it up to the 50-yard line, and that is where he will be stopped. But, Jason, you look at number 85, Isaac Muffley, and that's a pretty big hoss down there. It's going to take a lot to bring him down.
And it did. He broke a couple of tackles there and right in front of the La Joya bench. I think he took 3 of them with him out of bounds, and still a 20-yard gain and first down at midfield. So
good catch, good run, and good second, third, fourth, fifth efforts there by Muffley to bring the Badgers up to midfield. High snap. Rice gets it over to Tenette, who makes a high catch. Now Tenette takes off down the 40, down the 30-yard line. Tenette to the 20, to the 10. As we say in New Jersey, forget about it. Uriah Tenette just turns on the Jets for a 50-yard touchdown reception.
Beautiful play, and Tenette just left everybody in the dust when he hit that high gear. Perfect run for him, great catch, and so far the Badger passing game has really been impressive so far tonight.
Yeah, I mean, Badgers traditionally have been a big-time running game, and we saw that last year when they had the King Ghidorah line.
Now we've got the Badgers spread out throughout the entire field for the two-point conversion.
And Rice, well, he just gets a good push by his lineman and easily takes it home for 2. So with 10:13 left to go, 10:31 left to go here in the first half, our score is Prescott 16 and La Joya nothing. So let's take a 30-second break, and we'll be back with more right after this. We're back here at La Joya High School in Avondale. John Rust, Jason Zinzaletta, CJ Siegfried with you here, bringing you the season opener for the Badgers. And so far, a good season opener for Prescott. They're up 16-0. Jackson Rice connecting with Uriah Tenette for a 50-yard touchdown strike.
So touchdown strikes of 50 and 62 yards for the Badgers. Wow, what a passing game so far.
Yeah. Like I said, we're normally used to seeing the Badgers run the ball a lot. We had that last year with Cody Leopold, Maury Norris, Kean McKelvey. Of course, they've all graduated, and now Jackson Rice really doing a good job with the airborne element of this game. And Gunderman, again, kicking that one into the end zone. And another touchback here for, actually, hold the phone, folks. We got a penalty marker right around the 50-yard line.
Okay, looks like a penalty on La Joya. And I think that may have been an out-of-bounds kick, I believe. I'm not sure. They're going to move the ball up to the 45, which means that the Badgers have a chance to punch it through the uprights and way out the back of the end zone, the way they've been kicking tonight.
So take two as Johan Gunderman gets set to kick this one again. And that one bounces off a La Joya player, and about three of them fall on the ball. And actually, La Joya going to start at about the 18-yard line. And it looks like that was, I believe, number 30 for La Joya, Davis Pearson, who got the ball, couldn't control it, then just fell on it to make sure La Joya still had it. Actually looks like it's going to be probably the 19-yard line where La Joya is going to start this drive.
Smart move there. You've just got to cover the ball and hold on to it. Otherwise, the Badgers have it deep in your territory. Not good for them, so they get to start in their own territory, but still with the ball.
And La Joya, well, they got a bit of a hole to dig themselves out of. They're down 16-0 here in the first half. And fumble on the play. Luckily for the Fighting Lobos, Aaron Winfield falls on it, but that will set La Joya back quite a bit, maybe about 6-7 yards. We'll see where it's finally spotted. Probably more like about 5 yards.
About that. Yeah, and the Badgers were close to that fumble, but just couldn't get to it in time. That's okay. Still a 5-yard loss for the Lobos. And they're calling it 2nd and 14. Close enough. 2nd and 15 now.
Lobos from about their own 15-yard line. Here comes the run up the middle, and nothing doing there. And big number 5 for Prescott, Garrison Gray, pushing the runner back. Looks like that is Jacob Rivera. Rivera had 220 rushing yards last season for La Joya.
Wow. That was one of the better defensive stops we've seen tonight on the Badgers team. Badgers are starting to click a little bit on both sides of the ball. Not bad.
Well, you know, Coach Collette did tell me after last week's scrimmage with Post and Butte that he was pretty happy with how his starting lineup is looking here. Pursuit is Winfield. He throws the ball. Rivera tried to catch it, dropped pass. So another incompletion by Winfield.
Probably a good thing, surrounded by Badgers back there. He wouldn't have gotten far. But still, that's going to put the punter back in the end zone once again for La Joya.
Badgers quite a few times have brought some good pressure against Winfield in tonight's game. Winfield, in fact, got sacked earlier by Adam Lloyd. And punting time now for the Fighting Lobos. As we await the snap here, Uriah Tenette standing around the 45-yard line. Tenette racing over, and he is going to catch that on the bounce in Badger territory. Races up to midfield. Now Tenette going to the sidelines. Tenette at the 40. Oh, we get a flag on the play as Tenette looks like he's hit around the 25-yard line.
That flag came back at about the 35, so you wonder, do we have a clip or a personal foul? Everybody trying to stop Uriah Tenette there.
Uriah Tenette coming off one heck of a season for the Prescott basketball team, where he was named the Region Player of the Year, and that was in his sophomore year. Looks like we're finally going to get the call here. Holding against Prescott.
That's 2 Uriah Tenette runs that holding penalties have negated here.
And actually, there are 2 penalties. The hold is declined, but La Joya will accept the illegal block call. So that is going to set the Badgers back some.
Folks, tonight's game brought to you in part by Yavapai County Food Bank. They're making a difference in Yavapai County ever since 1992. That's the Yavapai County Food Bank.
8:47 left to go in the second quarter. 16-0 is the score in favor of Prescott. Jackson Rice with a pair of touchdown throws. High snap. Rice drops back, airs it out again, and over the head of Gunderman. And Gunderman, well, he was wedged between a couple of Lobos there. Looks like it was number 2, Jacob Gerardo, and number 3, Jacob Rivera.
But still, the focus of that ball, the passing game of the Badgers looks to suddenly have exploded out onto the field here. It's going to be an interesting season, John. I don't think that...
Wait, actually,
go ahead.
Jason, it looks like we have a penalty here.
Didn't quite see what it was.
I didn't even see a flag out there, so I almost want to say pass interference, but there was...
Yeah, must have been. Sorry.
Yeah.
Nevertheless, that puts the Badgers over midfield and into Lobo territory.
So it looks like a pass interference call that looks like everyone missed. Now Rice throws it to Gunderman at the far side. Gunderman knocks down a couple of tackles, gets past the 40-yard line to about the 38-yard line. So a pretty good pickup there by Gunderman.
The screen passes are being very effective. And as I was saying, I think the rest of the league is in for a surprise when they see this Badger team, traditionally a running team, suddenly show up on the field throwing the ball in all directions.
And there's the give to, it looks like Adam Lloyd. Lloyd down the sidelines at the 20 and knocked out of bounds at the 10. Oh, we get a flag on the play.
I think at least that's a face mask or a clothesline right there, the way he went down.
And I do believe that is Adam Lloyd. Yes, it is Lloyd with the run there. So Adam Lloyd with a pretty good run to go along with the sack he got.
Definitely a personal foul there. And the Badgers are going to go deep into Lobo territory.
2 huge fouls committed by La Joya, and now that puts the Badgers in the red zone. Looks like they're at the 13-yard line with 8:08 to go in the second quarter. Oh, high snap over the head of Jackson Rice, and he has to fall on that like a grenade at the 25-yard line. That's going to set the Badgers back.
We've seen that snap several times and he's had to reach for it a few times. Finally went over his head. First game, it happens.
So it'll be 2nd down and 22 now for Prescott. They have the ball at the La Joya 25. 3 receivers out to the near side. There's the pass, leaping catch made by Tenette. Tenette trying to go up the middle, not a lot of room there. And the Fighting Lobos just knock Tenacious T right to the ground.
But still, even though you've got a long 3rd down coming up, 3rd down, 22 yards to go, The Badgers have proven they can air it all the way to the end zone here effectively. So the whole field is a possibility at this point for this long 3rd and 22. And, John, you got to think if they miss it here, we're talking about a 36-yard field goal, something like that. I would say they've got 2 plays to get this.
Rice, and there's the big bomb to the end zone and making the catch, but that is going to be, it's a touchdown! I think that's Gunderman who caught it. I thought he caught it out of bounds.
Well, the officials were closer than we were. We'll take it.
Yeah, I was about to say Gunderman out of bounds, but no, Gunderman with about a 26-yard touchdown catch, his second TD catch of the night.
Now the Badgers going into their 2-point play, and it looks like they're going to be calling, the Badgers are calling a timeout right now. So let's go ahead and take a 30-second timeout here on the News 1490 with the score 22-0 Prescott. We'll take a 30-second timeout and be right back.
Welcome back to La Joya High School. John Russ, Jason Zinzaletta, CJ Siegfried with you here. 22-0 is our score. The Badgers in the lead. Johan Gunderman with his second touchdown catch of the night. Jackson Rice with his third touchdown throw of the night.
It'd be help if I turn on my mic. We knew that the Badgers, after seeing the first half of ball, the entire field was at their play, and they managed to get it right into the end zone. Beautiful play there. We thought we were out of bounds. And now the Badgers putting on their special 2-point offense.
Well, they've been successful at it so far.
Spread offense, I guess you could call it.
Jackson Rice under center. There's another push by the line, and Rice into the end zone for the 2. 6:43 left to go here in the second quarter. 24-0 in favor of the Badgers. We'll take a 30-second break here, and we'll be back to La Joya High School right after this. We're back here at La Joya High School. John Russ, Jason Zinzaletta, CJ Siegfried with you. 24-0. Badgers storming out of the gates here in game number 1 of the season for them. Hey, folks, stick around for our halftime show here on KYCA. We will have our first senior spotlight of the year. In fact, it will be with Jackson Rice, who has 3 touchdown throws tonight. Also, we will hear from Epson Dahl Lowe from the Prescott boys golf team. We'll have an interview with him at halftime as well.
And John, I think this is going to be a new look Badger team that's going to be having their home opener next Friday night. It's going to be enjoyable to watch.
That it is. By the way, folks, we hope to get you a score from the Bradshaw Mountain Snowflake game as well, as Gunderman sends that one to the back of the end zone. Man, oh man, Gunderman, along with getting a lot of pretty good receptions tonight, or a lot of good catches tonight, also making a lot of good kicks as well.
Don't forget, folks, tonight's game brought to you in part by H2O Health in the Prescott Gateway Mall, your healthy water place, and so much more. And tonight's game brought to you in part by Silver Hammer, Northern Arizona's premier home and commercial building inspection company, Badger owned and Badger operated. Let Silver Hammer Inspections take care of all of your inspection needs.
So 1st and 10 from the 20-yard line for La Joya. And there's the pitch. Looks like it's to Rivera. Rivera going up to the far side. And no go there. In fact, looks like the Badgers knock him back for a loss.
Looks like a flag over there on the far side. Am I wrong on that?
No, it looks like it is a flag.
Let's see what we've got. The Lobos are backing up.
Holding against the Lobos.
Wow. And I hate to say it so early in the game with a 6:34 remaining in the second quarter. This is a Lobo team that's starting to fall apart.
That's from Bradshaw Mountain, folks. And Bradshaw Mountain and Snowflake tied 7-7 in the second quarter.
Wow. Well, Snowflake is always an extremely good team, and now that they've moved up to the 4A, Bradshaw is going to be an interesting test.
Here we go, 1st and 20 now for the Fighting Lobos. Winfield running, now throwing, and I believe it was intercepted by Prescott. That should be number 49, Cooper Cassoon.
Nope, they're waving it off.
Wondering about it. Looked like he had the interception there, but it looks like the officials are saying that Cassoon caught it after the bounce. And actually, we have a penalty flag. Oh. It looks like they're calling intentional grounding on. No, actually, I think it might be roughing the passer.
And if that's the case, that's an automatic first down. And it looks like they've already spotted the ball up at the 25-yard line. So 1st and 10 for the Lobos. One break in their direction.
6:24 remaining in the second quarter. 24-0. Lobos trailing the Badgers. Garcia in motion. Run goes up the middle. Couple good blocks thrown by the Lobo offensive line. And the running back able to get about 6 or 7 yards.
Don't forget, folks, Friday night, September 1st at Bill Shepherd Field, the Thunderbird Titans come to town. It's the home opener for the Prescott Badgers. And I'll tell you what, there's quite a few Badger parents and fans over there on the far sideline, but I know we get a good crowd over at Prescott. You're going to be impressed with this team, I think, so far from what we've seen in the first half.
5:45 remaining here in the first half. 24-0. Badgers on top. 2nd and 3 for the Lobos from their own 25. And the run gets stopped in a hurry by Prescott. Actually, it looks like that is number 3 again for the Lobos, Jacob Rivera.
So 3rd down and 2 for the Lobos. 5:17 remaining in the first half. 24-0 Badgers. Badgers, after a very rough start, both teams were off to a rough start. The Badgers are now looking like a well-oiled machine on offense, at least when they start throwing the ball. A 62-yard touchdown run, a pass, a 50-yard touchdown pass to Uriah Tenette. Goodness.
2 receivers out to the near side now for La Joya.
Wow. I wish you could have seen. Well, if you're watching, you could see that one. I couldn't see who that was. 22?
Might have been.
Well, straight through the line, no block whatsoever. La Joya had no chance on that, and now all of a sudden it is 4th, and they're calling it at the line of scrimmage practically. So about 4th and 3, they've got to go for it here.
I'll tell you what, give it up for the Badger defense. They've been doing a good job cutting through that Lobo offensive line. And I know Coach Collette was a little concerned because the Lobos do have some good size on that line, but it looks like that's having no effect on Prescott.
And it looks like we've got a timeout here on the play. So I'll tell you what, we're going to take a timeout here. with the score 24-0, 4:13 remaining in the first half. We're going to take a 30-second timeout and be back right after this.
And we're back here at La Joya High School in Avondale. John Russ, Jason Cinzaletta, CJ Siegfried with you. 4:13 to go here in the first half. 24-0 in favor of Prescott. And it is 4th down for La Joya, and it looks like they are going to kick the ball away. Or punt the ball, excuse me. It'll be Jaime Ozuna. And I believe that's Uriah Tenette again back to receive the punt. Low snap that rolls up to the punter, but he still gets it off. And Tenette's just going to let that one skip by him. And the Lobos will let it roll to a stop right around the 23-yard line before it's picked up by Edward Garcia.
Well, folks, the city of Prescott, offering beautiful lakes, hiking trails, and recreation parks, is everyone's hometown, and it's also one of our fine Badger sponsors. That's the city of Prescott. Lakes, hiking trails, recreation parks, one of the most beautiful cities in the whole wide world.
Hey, also, folks, find out what's going on with Prescott sports on the Badger Sports Report. That is weekday mornings at 6:47, right here on the news, 1490 AM, 103.5 FM, and online at kyca.info. And there is, actually, Uriah Tenette keeping the ball and runs with it, but it looks like Tenette gets stopped right around the line of scrimmage. Looked like he was going to give that ball to Overton, but Tenette kept it for himself, and they're going to say that, actually, they're going to say Tenette gained about 3 or 4 on that play.
All right, good lean forward for Tenette. The ground game has been a little iffy tonight for the Badgers, but not bad. It's the passing game that has definitely shined.
Badgers operating from the gun again. Tenette rolling out, making the throw, caught by Muffley. Muffley shrugs off one tackle, still on his feet, and Muffley finally taken down at the 35-yard line. Looks like that's going to be good enough for a Badger first down. And again, number 85 for Prescott, Isaac Muffley, just proving one tough dude to bring down.
That's your brutal tight end you need in there. I mean, he is physical and has been just fighting his way for yardage and enough for a first down right now. So this is another good first down for the Badgers and a good series so far.
And Tenette gets the snap, runs the ball himself, run out of bounds, and runs right into the Lobo bench. And it looks like Tenette might have picked up about 4 or 5 off that run.
Well, don't forget, as we said, the Thunderbird Titans are coming to town on next Friday, and we'll have live coverage there beginning at 6:45 and kickoff at 7 o'clock for the Badgers home opener here on KYCA.
Receiver out to the near side. Rice now throws the far side. Picked up by Muffley. Muffley with a first down at the 50-yard line. Now tripped up at the 45-yard line. Huge gain there by Isaac Muffley.
Isaac just shy of 15 yards there across midfield. And with the, clock's going to stop with the first down. 3:05 remaining. Another touchdown, and that has got to spell, I wouldn't say nearly the end for the Lobos, but being 31 or 32 to nothing going into the locker room won't be good.
And remember, La Joya, well, they're coming off a disappointing season in 2022, going 2-8. That was when they were in the 5A conference. Rice throwing it downfield, caught and dropped by Uriah Tenette. Oh, he had it right in his hands and just couldn't secure it.
I think he just got a hand, the defender just got a hand in there just at the right moment. Uriah did everything he could to hang on to it. Looked like he had a touchdown right there.
Well, that'll just go down as a long incompletion for Jackson Rice and bring up 2nd and 10 for the Badgers. They have the ball at the La Joya 45-yard line. 2:43 remaining in the second quarter. 24-zip. Prescott on top. Badgers going to run the ball. I believe that's Uriah Tenette who took that snap, and he gets up to about the 43-yard line. And hey, folks, you're listening to Badger Football here on the news, 1490 AM, 103.5 FM, Prescott, Arizona, KYCA, Prescott, Arizona, USA, where the time is coming up on 8 o'clock.
Great night for the Badgers so far, John.
3rd and 6 now for Prescott. Rice.
Long pass for Rice.
And that is going to be caught by Gunder. Wow.
Yes. And he got to the 1. He's coming up limping a little bit, though.
Oh, that is not a good sign. Johan Gunderman again with a great pass or a great catch near the sidelines. Again, from our vantage point, it looks like he was out of bounds, but I'll tell you, I guess some fancy footwork kept him in bounds. And like you said, Jace, looks like he's at the 1 or 2 yard line now.
Gunderman's staying in the game right now. He's still limping just a little bit, but he's still lining up on the right side.
And here comes the run for Prescott. And, oh, looks like it is stopped by the Lobos.
Maybe a yard on that one. Still 2nd and goal for the Badgers. The passing game, the rest of the conference, the rest of the Badger opponents are not going to know what to make of this, at least out of Prescott.
2nd and goal from the 1 now. High snap. Rice going to run it himself. Oh, man, and Rice just gets hammered. Devon Robinson just laying the smackdown there on Jackson Rice, and I think he knocked him back a couple of yards.
So now 3rd and 4. Yes, they have the air, but now they've got a little bit of room to work against.
Rice under center, getting the offense straightened out here on 3rd and goal from the 4. Rice throwing to the end zone, and it is caught by Muffley for the touchdown. Isaac Muffley, a 4-yard TD reception.
Wow. And he was all alone back there in the back of the end zone. One of the few times we've seen the Badger quarterback actually under center.
And that is touchdown number 4 on the night, thrown by Jackson Rice, who's having a career night for Prescott. And once again, they're going to go for 2. Rice under center. And, well, guess what? Rinse, wash, repeat as Jackson Rice gets a good push from his lineman, gets in there for 2. 58 seconds left to go in the second quarter. And it's 32-0 Badgers. We'll take a 30-second break here on our broadcast of Badger Football, the season opener, and we will be back right after this. Welcome back to La Joya High School here in Avondale. John Rust with you. 32-0 Badgers on top as Jackson Rice has 4 touchdown passes tonight. And Jackson Rice, by the way, he will be our senior spotlight at halftime.
The Badgers have been impressive here. I don't care what La Joya's record is or could be this season. This is an impressive debut after the first series or so for the Badgers.
Gunderman kicks that one away, and again, that's going to land in the end zone. And again, Gunderman doing a really good job on the kickoffs for Prescott today.
Very quickly, folks, just wanted to let you know if you haven't seen the Badger schedule yet. Whew, okay, next 2 games are at home against Thunderbird and Northwest Christian, and then comes the 3-game road trip from heck, as I call it, at Casa Grande on September 15th, at Apache Junction, Combs High School on the 22nd, and then at Kingman for the conference opener against Lee Williams on the 29th.
Well, you know, with all those long trips that we're going to be taking during that period, when we go to Lee Williams, I better have a paranormal experience, man, you know?
Yeah.
All that traveling better be worth something. Oh, run going up the middle. I think that's Garcia, the ball carrier, and he gets tripped up around the 25-yard line.
5-yard gain, maybe 4 or 5-yard gain there for La Jolla, and they're content to let the clock run. I think I'd be wanting to get into the locker room too, John.
Yeah. Well, you can just imagine that Coach Adam Bean for La Jolla, he's probably going to be saying quite a bit to his guys in that locker room. 2 receivers out to the near side for the Lobos. Winfield hands the ball off, and it looks like it's Robinson who gets immediately tripped up by the Badgers. Looks like it's number 54 for Prescott. Gunnar Parra in on that tackle, and probably a lot of our listeners familiar with the Parra name as his sister, one of the studs for the Prescott softball team.
And that's going to just about do it, mercifully, for La Jolla.
All right, folks. Well, that will do it for the first half of action here from La Jolla High School. Our score is Prescott 32 and La Jolla nothing. We will take a 1-minute break here, and we'll come back and we'll give you some first half stats before we head into our halftime interviews here on KYCA. Again, 32-0 our score in favor of Prescott. Halftime underway. We will be back with more from Avondale right after this.
Lines up, gets ready to start kickoff to open up the second half. It's going to be very interesting how they're going to react coming out of the locker room, John. You've got to think 32-0. You're a bit demoralized in game 1, but let's see how they come out. And, well, Prescott, it's going to be interesting to see them too.
And here comes the kick. And that will be fielded, looks like by Uriah Tenette. And Tenette finds a couple of gaps. Tenette still on his feet. Tenette at the 50. Tenette at the 40. Tenette at the 30. Are you kidding me? Tenette's going to take it all the way to the house for a kick return touchdown. And folks, I do not see any yellow hankies on the field.
Wow. Okay. That was a statement right there.
Oh, wait. Whoa. Oh, there was a penalty flag. Holding is the call.
Oh.
I was looking all around for a yellow flag, couldn't find any, and actually the white hat picked up a flag, put it on the ground, and then he indicated it was holding, and that erases a great kick return for a touchdown by Uriah Tenette.
Wow. Uriah Tenette turned on the gas, turned the corner, and he was gone. The last 50 yards of that run, nobody was near him, and negated by a penalty. And now the Badgers have to go back to work in their own territory, and they're going to start at their own 25-yard line as that kickoff return comes 75 yards back.
Actually, I don't think it is a hold. It looks like the signal is actually illegal block. So, well, so much for having that on our highlight package, I guess.
It's still a highlight.
It just doesn't count. Oh, nice. Oh, almost a nice leaping catch there by Isaac Muffley.
Well, the Badgers underway now here, 32-0 as we start the second half. And they made a statement and quieted the crowd real fast.
Well, now 2nd and 10. Tenette in. And now we get whistles on the play. Flag comes flying in. And a false start against Prescott. And now Prescott kind of stumbling a little bit here to start off the second half. Couple of penalties and a good throw in the direction of Isaac Muffley, but just couldn't reel that sucker in. So now 2nd and 15 for Prescott. They have the ball at their own 20-yard line. Big throw there by Rice, and almost intercepted by La Joya. That was number 19 for the Fighting Lobos. Charles Wright, who had great coverage on Muffley, looked like he had the ball but just couldn't hold on to it more securely.
So the Lobos are starting to answer the Badgers coming out here, looking a little bit sharper here in the beginning of the second half.
They also bring up 3rd and 15 now for Prescott. Ball at their own 20-yard line. 2 receivers out to the near side. Rice, short throw. It's caught by Muffley, and then Muffley gets hung up by a couple of Lobos. And finishing the tackle is Charles Wright, who almost had that interception while he was covering Muffley.
So Muffley gets back up, and now it's 4th and 10 for the Badgers. They're going to have to punt this one away. And John, I couldn't help but notice Muffley got the ball, lurched forward, and it took 3 Lobos to bring him down. So this is going to be an interesting season for him as well.
Well, like I said before, I kind of equate him to when Aaron Green played here, just another guy who had the build of an M1 Abrams tank. And awaiting the snap here. And there is the punt by Prescott. And the ball is bobbled by the return man for the Lobos. And right there to scoop up the ball, number 45, Court Lewis.
Heads up play for the Badgers right there. The ball squirted right out of his hands. And there Lewis was to pick it up and make a run for it. He got tripped up, but I don't think he could advance the ball any further, but at least the Badgers now have it in Lobo territory.
A great play there by Court Lewis, one of the few returners from last year's varsity team, and now he makes his presence known. 1st and 10 from the 44 as the Badger offense continues going. Tenette with the ball. Tenette making the cut, trying to get some forward progress. Couldn't do it as he gets knocked down.
About a 4-yard loss on that one for Uriah Tenette. Just couldn't make the corner over there on the left side.
And I believe that was Devon Robinson who got the stop on Tenette, knocking him back about 4 yards.
Second half just underway, 10:20 to go, and the clock is running. 32-0 Badgers.
Uriah Tenette, he'll take the... Actually, correction, that's Rice. He throws it to Gunderman. Gunderman makes the cut, shrugs off one tackle, tries to shrug off another one, but does get some positive yardage there. Looks like he picks up about 4 or 5 on that one.
So now the Badgers back to about a 3rd and 9 situation, and very interesting because we're so used to seeing the Wildcat out of the Badgers, or now we're seeing the shotgun, we're seeing under center. The Badgers have really expanded their offense coming into this game.
Rice from the gun. He's got Adam Lloyd standing next to him. Rice drops back. Line drive throw caught by Gunderman. Gunderman makes a turn, grabbed by the jersey and spun into the ground. Getting the stop there for La Joya was number 9, Landon Kazar.
Well, now here we go once again. The Badgers are down to the La Joya 36-yard line, 4th and about 2.5 yards. You got to think they're going to go for it, even with the score at 32-0. Hard to punt this one without putting it in the end zone.
And Jackson Rice having a little talk there with Court Lewis. And also Adam Lloyd as he starts to direct traffic. 2 receivers out to the far side for the Badgers. Now moving left to right across your radio dial on your screen. And Jackson finds a nice gap. Takes it up near the 30-yard line, and that should be a Badger first down.
Good play inside the line. Good read. Perfect play there. And the chains move.
Well, folks, 3rd quarter underway up in Prescott Valley. Bradshaw Mountain with a 16-7 lead over Snowflake. And now Rice Another nice gap he finds before he's finally hauled to the ground, and that's going to be, probably about a 6-yard pickup?
You wonder if that was an intentional play. He nearly had it go over his head again, but a good read by by Rice, and straight ahead he went.
8 minutes left to go in the third quarter. 32-0 in favor of Prescott. Badgers threatening 2nd and 5 from the 25. And Rice gives the ball to one of his running backs. And it looks like that was Adam Lloyd who took the ball, and I think he might have got a couple out of that.
Possible.
No, actually it looks like they might have knocked them back 1 or 2.
So 3rd and 6 here as the clock runs down to 7:30 here in the third quarter.
Two receivers out to the far side. And we are going to get a timeout called by La Joya with 7:27 left to go here in the third stanza.
Well, John, I want to welcome everybody to another season of Prescott Badger football, and tonight's game brought to you in part by Badger alumni Steve Blair. He's the owner of Blind Brothers Arizona, offering premier window treatments in northern Arizona since 1979. That's Steve Blair and Blind Brothers Arizona, another fine Badger sponsor. Tonight's game also brought to you in part by Arizona Seamless Gutters. Quality people, products, and service you can trust. Arizona Seamless Gutters, a longtime Badger sponsor, and we're looking forward to seeing Travis Stedman and this year's edition of the Prescott Badger basketball team.
Yes, which features Uriah Tenette, also Zane Gall going to be back with them. Zane Gall, now a 3-sport athlete along with basketball and boys volleyball. He's also a member of the golf team.
Wow. Now that's a kid who needs to be taken around a lot by his parents, unless he drives. If he drives, good for him.
And there's the give to, actually, no, Rice keeps it himself. Rice, a big gap, gets stood up by a La Joya defender and taken down around the 15-yard line. Nice fake give there to Adam Lloyd.
But still, more than enough for the first down as the Badgers, Rice picked up about 15 on that one. And the Badgers still driving. A nice grinding drive here for the Prescott Badgers, proving that they can still do it on the ground as well, not just the air.
And Rice going to take it on the ground himself, and Rice bowled over. Jason, did I see a flag come flying in there?
I wondered about that. I think we...
Yep.
Holding on the Badgers.
Ooh.
Okay, that much more work to do for the Prescott Badgers, as that's going to push them back 15, I believe.
And it's kind of interesting because at last week's scrimmage with Post and Butte, when I was doing my interview with Coach Collette, he said one of the things that he saw out of the Badgers at that scrimmage was they would make a great play, but then follow it up with a bad play like a fumble or some kind of turnover, or they get knocked back a few yards. It looks like they might have cleaned up that for the most part tonight, but still a little bit of fixing needs to be done here for the Badgers as Rice tries to take it up the middle. And, oh, boy, the Lobos were definitely ready for him.
First down and 20 about their backed up the Badgers to the Lobo 25, and that's where Rice managed to fight his way just about to the line of scrimmage. So 2nd and 20 here for the Badgers as the time continues to tick down. 6:40 to go here in the third quarter. Still 32-0 in favor of the Badgers.
Joe McKendy, one of the guys for the Lobos, in on the stop there for Rice. Jackson Rice operating out of the gun now. He rolls. He fires, and in and out of the hands of Gunderman. He was standing in the end zone, had his arms out, and the ball just skipped over his arms on what would have been an easy touchdown.
So once again, the Badgers denied the end zone. The number of times, though, that they have had their chance and either managed to get it or not has been very impressive tonight.
So this will bring up 3rd and 20 now for Prescott. They have the ball at the Lobo 25-yard line, 6:17 remaining in the third quarter. Badgers up 32-0, and they are looking to tack on some more. Rice from the gun. Fakes the give, and we get a flag on the play as Rice throws the ball to Uriah Tenette, but again, Yellow Hanky came flying in before Rice got that ball off.
A good effort for him. Uriah was just about a foot too short. So,
false start against Prescott.
Wow.
Badgers have been struggling here throughout the third quarter.
It's the first game. Everybody's got to get the rust off just a little bit. No pun intended. And, you know, and it's just, you know, they're looking good for the most part. Come on, you're going to make some mistakes, of course, but it looks like both teams have been piling on the penalties a bit.
Yeah. And again, you're going to make mistakes when you're talking about so many new guys in the starting lineup for Prescott.
But still looking very good. And we're going to go for a field goal here on 4th and 20.
And it looks like it is Gunderman who will make the kick here with Jackson Rice holding. It's up. Oh, and it looks like that is going to go wide. So no dice there on the field goal by Gunderman. And the score remains 32-zip with 6:06 left to go in the third quarter.
Folks, tonight's game brought to you in part by the Prescott Unified School District. They're the Badgers' biggest fans. Prescott Unified School District, every child, every day. Support your Badgers with your Arizona tax credit. It's not too early. Go to PrescottSchools.com.
Hey, folks, tune in to the Tri-City Sports Roundup tomorrow morning at 8:06 right here on KYCA. We're going to talk with Prescott girls volleyball coach Ephraim Bernard and also the new men's basketball coach over at Yavapai College, Kevon Davis. And, of course, we'll have a couple of former Bradshaw Mountain players on Yavapai this season as Carter – actually, looks like we got a timeout here.
I'll tell you what, John, we're looking at this, and I just cannot help but be impressed by the Prescott Badgers, especially with the passing game this year. What a find Rice has been. And I'm talking about this is not just, we're going to throw it up and hope somebody wins. Hope somebody gets it. Rice's passes have been solid, have been quick, and right on target for the most part.
Yeah. And again, I mean, Rice, of course, was starting quarterback for most of the year last year for Prescott. In fact, I believe he was an all-region second-team selection. But again, a lot of what Rice did last year was he either hands the ball off to Cody Leopold, hands it off to Keon McKelvey, hands it off to Morier Norris. But this year we're really starting to see just what kind of arm that Rice has. And it's a pretty darn good arm. All right, Lobos with the ball now. 1st and 10 from the 20-yard line.
6:06 remaining in the third quarter.
Aaron Winfield under center. Gives the ball to one of his running backs, and the Badgers just all over the guy.
Sorry, folks. Hard to read the numbers up here. Really hard.
And actually, it looks like it's going to be a 2-yard loss for the Lobos. And again, Badgers have been doing pretty good tracking down the running backs tonight.
From this angle, every Lobo handoff looks like a mess. The way that they are running their backs in the backfield, back and forth around the quarterback, you just never know who's going to get the ball there, but it invariably leads to a few problems.
And again, Winfield under center. Lobos in the I formation. Now Winfield backpedals under pressure. He escapes, and now Winfield on the run. And he's going to run into the bench for La Joya. And as he goes out of bounds, he gets nailed by a Badger, and that is going to be a late hit. No doubt about that one.
Yeah, you can get overly excited out there, but that was quite obviously a late hit. Not even close. Just don't like to see that near the sideline like that.
And a good run there by Aaron Winfield. So that'll be a 15-yard penalty assessed to Prescott.
And that puts the Lobos on their own 45-yard line, actually making some progress at this point. Well, they certainly haven't curled up and died at this point.
Aaron Winfield, the quarterback, he's just a sophomore, stands at only 5'7", but weighs 175 pounds. Another I formation there for the Lobos. Here comes the run, and Lobos able to get a few yards out of it before that run is stopped. Looks like it is number 16, it looks like, for the Lobos. That is Jeremiah Gutierrez.
That puts the Lobos near midfield at the 49-yard line, 2nd and 6. Time running at 4:40 remaining in the third quarter. They've got to be happy with this effort so far here in the third quarter. They've kept the Badgers off the scoreboard.
Well, I don't know what Coach Bean said to the Lobos in the locker room, but whatever he said, it certainly seemed to resonate with them. Winfield under center. He drops back, under pressure, throws downfield, intercepted by the Badgers! And that is number 3 for Prescott, Costa Contreras, picking up the INT for PHS.
Beautifully read play there. I mean, that was absolutely perfect, spot-on interception. And now the Badgers get back to work on their own 21-yard line.
And you wonder if this might be something that could deflate La Joya. They had a couple of really good plays going. They had a good drive going. And next thing you know, bang, interception. So here comes the Badger offense with 4:11 left to go in the third quarter. 32-0, Prescott on top. So far, we are scoreless here in the third quarter. Rice throws and, well, Muffley double-teamed and just couldn't haul that ball in. Some good coverage on him by number 8, Nasir Smith, and number 9, Landon Kazar.
One of the Badgers lost his head over that play, and he's back on the sidelines getting his helmet put back on. You never like to see a helmet suddenly bounding into the backfield, but all looks well.
Again, Rice from the gun, 2 receivers to either side for Prescott. Now Rice going to run the ball himself, and Rice gets pinballed around by a couple of La Joya defenders, and Rice, looks like he's able to get about 2 or 3 yards out of that run.
Time continues to tick away for La Joya. 3:50 remaining, and the clock is running 32-0 as the Badgers now face 3rd and 8. Uncharacteristically deep in their own territory during this game.
Again, 2 receivers to either side for Prescott. Rice drops back. Now he uncorks it, and a running catch made at the 40-yard line by the Badger receiver, trying to get a number on him.
Looks like 28.
Number 28 for Prescott, Jed Rummage, with a great running catch there.
Well, just when you thought they were getting pinned down, there goes another pass. And how is Rice? Is he over 300?
He's close to it. I have him at about 280 yards right now. Now here comes the run by Jackson Rice. Rice finds a nice gap, and he takes it up past the 35-yard line. And now, Jason, we're seeing that Jackson Rice, along with having a good arm, the guy's also got some pretty good wheels.
Now, Uriah has had a great game tonight, and also you can see the defense keying in on him, of course.
Yeah, they certainly got the scouting report on Tenacious T. Rice, another throw to the far side. Oh, right in the hands of Muffley. And again, Isaac Muffley just having a hard time reeling in the ball.
Clock stops, 2:46 remaining, 32-0 Badgers. Late in the third quarter. The Lobos now, I think, playing for pride as best they can, but they've managed to keep the Badgers off the scoreboard in the third quarter so far.
Rice all by himself in the gun. Now he's going to run it up the middle. He finds a big gap, gets a couple of good blocks, takes it past the 30-yard line, and that's going to be good enough for a Badger first down.
Wow. And so the chains move. Tonight's game, folks, brought to you in part by Badgers alumni Steve Blair. He's the owner of the Blind Brothers Arizona, offering premier window treatments in northern Arizona since 1979. Thanks, Steve, for your sponsorship of Prescott Badger football.
High snap, and there is the give to the running back for Prescott. He breaks a tackle and gets past the 15-yard line. And that is number 17 for Prescott, Overton.
And now the Badgers are starting to move. I think that they looked at this scoreless quarter, John, and they said, nope, we're going to try and get a score here.
Overton again, and he finds a huge gap and takes it past the 10-yard line. Number 17, Trace Overton.
Is that enough for a first? It's going to be close. They can get the first down if they cross the 5-yard line. They're at 2nd and 1 right now, about the 6.
And actually, Overton coming out of the game now, and he's coming up a little bit gimpy there as he goes over to the sidelines. And Overton had 2 really good runs for Prescott. Now Adam Lloyd standing behind Rice. Lloyd gets the ball, and oh man, some great blocking there by the O-line, and Lloyd just breezes into the end zone for the touchdown. First touchdown on the ground by Prescott in this game.
An unusual call there, John. So now 38-0 with 1:33 remaining. And I think we're coming in for our first extra point tonight, John.
I believe you are correct, as it will be number 28, Jed Rummage, who puts the ball through the uprights. $1:33 to go here in the third quarter, and our score now, Prescott 39 and La Joya nothing. So let's take a 30-second break here on our game broadcast of the Prescott football season opener. We will be back with more from Avondale right after this. Back here at La Joya High School, John Russ, Jason Zinzaletta, CJ Siegfried, 39-0. The Badgers on top in their season opener, as Adam Lloyd punches the ball in from about 5 yards out for a touchdown, his first of the season.
And John, I think you were saying before, the Badgers had been held scoreless here in the third quarter. I think they saw that and the clock running out and said, nope, not going to happen this time.
And the Badgers getting ready to kick it away here. Gunderman puts his foot into it, and that will be caught, then dropped by number 2 for La Joya in the end zone. And that is Jacob Gerardo.
Folks, you want to tune in to KYCA on weekdays for our national talk lineup. You don't want to miss it. Dan Bongino from 10 to 1. Dana Lash at 1 o'clock. The first hour of the Chris Plant Show at 2. Michael Berry at 3. You can't get much better than that unless you were to listen to our local talk shows. KYCA Talks at 8 o'clock. Lisa Live with Lisa LaChapelle Dandos at 9. And, of course, the KYCA PM Show at 4. Don't miss any of it weekdays here on KYCA.
So the Lobos starting from their own 20-yard line. And the run immediately stopped by Prescott. Number 3, the ball carrier, Jacob Rivera.
Didn't make it back to the line either. About 3-yard loss on that one.
Tell you what, there is not much in the way of offensive stats to report here for the Lobos tonight. In fact, quite a few of their big gains were because of Prescott penalties tonight.
So the Lobos are probably going to get one play off, and then that's going to be the end of the third quarter. So
and run going to the, actually, here's the throw by Winfield, and Winfield tries to get it to one of his receivers, hits off his hand, incomplete pass. And actually, the clock is running, so it looks like we are now in running clock, I believe. And the clock hits 0, and that'll do it for the third quarter of play. Our score here from Avondale, it is the Badgers 39, the Fighting Lobos nothing. We'll take a 1-minute break here, and we'll be back with quarter number 4 right after this. We are back here for the fourth quarter. John Russ, Jason Zinzlet, and CJ Siegfried, all with you here for the season opener for Prescott football. And it could not be going any better for Prescott right now as they lead 39-0.
And you know what, John? It could be a whole lot worse. A lot of missed opportunities for the Badgers in the end zone.
Aaron Winfield under center for the Fighting Lobos. And it looks like he gets taken down. Actually, I believe that is number 3, Rivera, got the ball. And there were about 3 Badgers right on him, including number 54, Gunnar Para.
4-yard loss for the Lobos. They're going to have to bring in the punting unit once again. And, John, I think, well, not sure at this point, but I would have to say the running clock is on, and mercifully so, 39-0 Prescott.
And now we have Josiah Peoples, who will return this punt. He's standing at the 45-yard line. There's the snap. High punt. And this is going to drop, and it will roll to a stop right around the Badger 40-yard line. Hey, folks, you are listening to Prescott Football here on the news, 1490 AM, 103.5 FM, KYCA, Prescott, Arizona, USA. Time is coming up on 8:57.
Don't forget to stay tuned. Post-game show coming up immediately following the end of the game. And, of course, tonight you'll be hearing, let's see, at 9 o'clock, the Charlie Kirk Show here on the news, 1490 from 9 to 11. So we'll be joining Charlie in progress at the end of the game. And, of course, John Batchelor tonight beginning at 11 o'clock for you insomniacs out there who like good radio. Well, that's right here on KYCA. Why would you tune anywhere else? That's crazy.
Matt Rice with the handoff to number 12, Jacob Chamberlain. Chamberlain taking it toward the far side. And looks like he might have got some minimal yards out of that one. They're right now in running clock, Jason. I think pretty much the Badgers are just going to be content. Just keep it on the ground and just keep that time running and running and running.
I don't remember the last time we had the Badgers closing in on 300 yards passing in a single game.
Neither do I. And there's another run. This time looks like it's number 3, Costa Contreras. And again, minimal yards there by Contreras.
Well, enough to bring up a 3rd and 5 here, and good practice for the Badgers getting their running game going. I think the air game seems to be doing okay.
And again, good practice by yours truly here to figure out some of these new players that we have here on Prescott as Coach Collette starting to really bring in some of his second stringers there. Now we have another new running back. That's number 34, Ethan Grow.
He managed about a yard around the right-hand side, and that puts up about a 4th and 5 for the Badgers on their own 46-yard line. And, of course, with the running clock, we're approaching 9 minutes to go in the game. They're going to keep it. They're going to try. Well, nope. I think they're going to be punting it away.
$8:50 remaining in quarter number 4. And there's not a very far punt. In fact, I don't think that went more than 10 yards, and it took a bounce right around midfield.
Bounced right out of the sidelines on the Prescott side. And now the Lobos will be taking over on their own 48, basically at midfield right now.
And though I don't think that punt is going to hurt the Badgers too much with them up 39-0.
I'm thinking they're going to be okay. But, hey, folks, we want to thank you, and we want to thank all of our sponsors for sponsoring tonight's Prescott Badger football team and the whole season, along with the new ones, Silver Hammer, Northern Arizona's premier home and commercial building inspection company, Badger-owned and operated. Let Silver Hammer Inspections take care of all of your inspection needs.
1st and 10 from the 49 for La Joya. And we get a whistle on the play. After that, again, Badgers will be home next Friday. They will be taking on Thunderbird. Meanwhile, for La Joya, they will hit the road. They're going to be in Tucson next Friday. They will be taking on Empire High School. In fact, we got a bit of a local connection with that school, as Empire is the alma mater of Vanessa Brink, star pitcher for the Embry-Riddle softball team.
Well, John, I'm going to tell you, I don't see very much to complain about here with this new look Prescott Badger team. Yeah, you lost a lot of seniors. You got to kind of do some rebuilding, but you've got Uriah Tenette. There's your leader right there. And then you've got Rice in at quarterback, who has hit close to 300 yards on his first real game where he's able to open it up. As you said, handoff here, handoff there. Yeah, you're going to grind out wins as the Badgers did last year. This time, again, Prescott is going to be surprising some teams, especially in the conference. Going to be interesting to see, with about a month to prepare, at least where Lee Williams is concerned, how they're going to be coming out of the gate in Game 6.
That is right. And again, I think they have definitely opened up a lot. I think they've opened up a lot of eyes for their fans, even for the coaching staff, I think. Winfield, long pass, and intercepted. And I believe that's number 3, Costa Contreras, with his second INT of the game. And he's still on his feet and gets taken down near the 40-yard line. Costa Contreras, 2 interceptions to, hang on, flag on the play. We'll see what this one is.
Well, still a beautiful interception return for the Badgers. Had it read all the way, just very, very well.
Actually, looks like we have 2 flags on the play. One near the 20-yard line, another near about the 45-yard line. So we'll see what this is all about with 7:10 left to go in the 4th quarter. And the clock continues to wind down. Now the officials talking it over. And probably the Badgers are content to let them talk it over. And we do have an update from Prescott Valley. It is close up there, folks. 4th quarter, 16-14, Bradshaw Mountain over Snowflake. Boy, oh boy, sounds like an exciting game up there between the Bears and the other Lobos.
And again, the Bears sound like they are loaded this year, holding up for a 2-point lead so far over Snowflake. Yeah, Snowflake's going to lose some players. Bradshaw Mountain has two. Bradshaw's always tough. Going to be an interesting game later this season at the end of October.
I think we might have an illegal receiver downfield for La Joya. Badgers also getting called for a penalty, so it looks like we have offsetting penalties here.
And a replay of the down. This seems to be the standard operating procedure for Prescott tonight. Get a good play, and it gets negated.
Kind of what Coach Collette told me last week during the scrimmage at the post in Butin. Well, folks, what I said about Costa Contreras getting his second interception of the game, well, yeah, forget I said that. That's erased. So it'll be 1st and 10 from the 49 for La Joya.
6:44 to go, and the clock is getting ready to start once again, so this may run real fast.
And we have another delay here as a couple of the officials are over on the sidelines, and they're talking to La Joya coach Adam Bean. Well, I think Coach Bean has said his piece, and I think we're ready to get back to action. And the clock is ticking away again. Winfield under center. And we get a flag on the play. Jeez, are you kidding me? And there's the catch by number 9 for La Joya, as he is taken down around the 45-yard line, but that play is probably going to get negated. Nice catch there by Kazar, but we'll see what the flag is.
A lot of flags in game one, typical, but the kids learn.
False start against La Joya, and they've been dinged by quite a few false starts tonight. Actually, we now have another update on the Bradshaw Snowflake game. 8:03 left to go in the fourth quarter, and the Bears up 22-14. So Bradshaw's starting to pull away.
Wow. We saw Snowflake. This was one of the bigger, better teams we've ever seen last year. Bradshaw's handling them. That's impressive.
1st and 15 now for the Lobos. And there's the handoff. Run goes for. Oh, geez, another flag. Come on already. Well, Jacob Rivera, the ball carrier, but holding the call against La Joya.
And another great play negated this time on the La Joya side of the ball, as that is going to put them back another 15 yards, I believe, and that means where are we going to be at? Second and probably about 23 yards.
Yikes, yeah, ball right around the 35-yard line with 5:35 left to go in regulation. 39-0 Badgers on top. As right now, it just looks like we cannot avoid getting a flag on any play right now. Winfield under center. Pitches the ball to one of his running backs. Looks like it's Garcia. And he gets locked up around the 35-yard line and dropped. And I do not see any flags around.
Nice try, John.
Oh, there is a flag. Oh, jeez.
Told you. And this time it's going to be against the Prescott Badgers.
Starting to look like Big Bird has exploded in the middle of the field. We've had so many strips of yellow all over the place tonight.
I will pass that comment on to the Children's Television Workshop, John. And that means that the ball is now at the 50-yard line and 2nd and 9 at long last.
Maybe we should start like a bingo thing here. Can we have a play here that doesn't have a flag thrown? I guess we'll see soon enough. And Winfield, well, he gets rushed and he gets taken to the ground. And I don't know about anyone else, but I don't see any flags. Joy of joys.
39-0, 4 minutes to go in the game. The clock continues to run, and let's see where are we at. Second and third down, I think. I'm not sure. I think they're off a little bit. Well, 2nd and 11 at this point. That's what the official says. And 3:48 clock is running. So John Thunderbird, home game tomorrow. Home game next week. Folks, come on out and see this new look Badger team. They are something.
Mm-hmm. And, of course, if you can't make it to the stadium, you can listen to us on KYCA or check out our live stream as well. And there's the give, the run going to the far side, past the 50-yard line, and about a 3-4 yard gain there for the Lobos with 3:20 left to go in quarter number 4. 39-zip Badgers on top.
Yeah, come to the game. Bring your transistor. Listen to the game.
Listen to it on your phone too.
Well, it's the transistor radio. It really is. So we've got a new app. You can download the app. Just look for KYCA Radio in the iPhone store or in your Android store. So download our app. All you got to do is turn it on, and we've got great polls. And, oh, yeah, by the way, radio station. You can listen to that, too. Fantastic app here at KYCA.
And a lot of things we're doing to revamp and improve our website as well. And, well, someone jumped off sides. I think that's going to be another false start against La Joya, and it is. And, yeah, Jason, we are doing a lot of work to really bring a new look to the website and a few other new things we're doing to it.
That's right, folks. New look for news. We've got plenty of news, sports, everything we read on the air we try and put on our website. We've got podcasts. We've got archives of our talk shows. It's all free. No subscription required. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Free, that spells no charge.
And, of course, don't forget to check out our YouTube channel, KYCA Digital, as well.
Yeah, the restaurants. Woo.
So 3rd and 13 now for La Joya. Winfield barking out the signals. He gives the ball the first man through, and, well, a nice second, third effort there by the running back to get up to midfield. And, yeah, the last few restaurants, I don't know what it is, Jason, but the U.S. women's national team has really given us, a lot of material to work with these past couple of weeks.
I'm not surprised. I mean, there's a lot out there to talk about and everything. And, of course, John, as we move into football season, when college and the NFL starts, you're going to be busy.
Mm-hmm. Looking forward to seeing what Coach Primetime Deion Sanders is going to do up in Colorado. And he's been one of our more popular figures on Rust Rants, as that kick is going to bounce near the 15-yard line and then roll up to about the 5-yard line as we come down to the final minute of play here in the fourth quarter.
They're going to stop the clock at 56 seconds. The Badgers are probably going to take a few plays here, and that should do it. Lessons learned on both sides of the ball tonight, and I think the big thing is the Badgers know how to throw and throw well.
Mm-hmm. And, again, definitely got to help out with the confidence of this young and, in a lot of ways, inexperienced team. And kind of as I like to say, the only way you get experience is to get experience. And I think the Badgers have got a lot of good experience from this game as they get ready to meet Thunderbird next Friday.
I think the Badgers are going to be content to just take a knee and run the clock out, mercifully on the part of La Joya. Don't forget, folks, next Thursday night is our first ASU football game of the season. We'll have live coverage with the pregame show at 6, kickoff set for about 7 Thursday evening right here on the News 1490. And then we've got Friday night football, Thunderbird at Prescott.
Yes, I believe this is going to be the last season of ASU in the Pac-12, conference that looks like is going into extinction in another year or so.
Yeah, it's down to the Pac-4 already. They're talking to the Mountain West and the ACC. There could be a merger brewing between the Mountain West and the Pac-4, but for now, it's anyone's guess.
And it looks like that is going to be all she wrote here as the Badgers and the Lobos head to their respective sidelines. Just a few more seconds left to go. And, folks, the season opener for 2023 is in the books as the clock hits 0, and it is official. 39-0 is your final score as the Badgers get their first win of the season.